Hi guys, I'm Johnny Good for Real Home Studio. Today I'm going to be showing you how to turn a cheap sounding lav mic into an expensive sounding lav mic in one simple move. So before we dive straight in, please do remember to like, subscribe, and if you've got something to say, please do drop it in the comments section below. First things first, let's get the basic cover of the lav mic. Make sure it's pointing upwards towards the source. Much easier on a top like this than it is on a t-shirt, for example. You don't want it to be slipping towards the left or the right, or indeed pointing at the floor. And why, you might ask, do I prefer to use cheaper lav mics than expensive ones? Should I just dip my hand in my pocket and get myself a really good microphone? And here's my answer to that. Much like it is with tracking headphones when you're recording a band in a studio and they're your headphones, is that if they're connected, they're so easy to break. And if those cables break, whether it be on a lav mic, whether it be on a set of headphones, that's it, bang, no more headphones, no more lav mic. And these little bad boys are pretty easy to break when they get stuffed in bags. So let's dive straight in. I'll be using HitFilm Express to show you this demonstration.
Okay, so the first thing you're going to need if you're using HitFilm Express, as I am, is an add-on pack from their selection. Here's the one you're going to need, is the audio toolkit. It's not too expensive, and most importantly, it's got that EQ in there, which we're going to need to greatly improve the sound of our lav mic. Obviously, if you're not using HitFilm Express, you may well have an EQ already built in, or indeed like with Adobe, that you can access different EQs from your plugin range. Okay, so once that's all installed in HitFilm Express, we can just search EQ and pull up the equalizer in the audio section. You can see I've already created a couple of presets for the lav mic here, lav EQ and lav EQ2. So if I click onto one of my files, which I've already dumped the EQ on, here's the most important part. Essentially, it's 4 moves, and it's not just because it's a cheap mic, but it's also when you think about where the mic is and it's below the chin of the source rather than in front of the mouth, that it's going to start breeding these muddy, boxy, boomy sounds onto your mic. So 4 moves. Firstly, we want to remove everything below 30 Hertz, which is unnecessary, all that very low end information which we don't want. And now I'm taking out in a curve quite a lot of the low end information, peaking at about 250 here, which I've kept flat. Now it's important to have a bit of a play around with that, which suits the mic and your source, but you don't want to take up loads and loads and loads of bass. That's going to make the vocal sound rather thin, and it's going to lose some of its gravitas and richness from the voice. But what's super important is next, this curve, which is going to be removing those muddy frequencies, and they're going to peak anywhere between 250 to 1000 Hertz. That's where you want to be fishing around. So I've got this curve working for me on this EQ, which is taking out quite large amounts between 5 and 1000 Hertz. And then it's peaking up as I come up to around 4000 Hertz, which is going to start adding some life and air and clarity and lightness, and give more of that premium sound. You want to be careful you don't overdo it. You can start to get very sibilant and a bit choppy and quite unpleasant, but again, it's worth fiddling around. Now this EQ in HitFilm Express, it's fair to say, isn't my favorite. It's fairly basic, but it gets the job done fine. That whatever you're using, you may have more flexibility with an EQ, or indeed like software like Adobe, you may be able to use your EQs from your plugins and what you usually use in your DAW. But as I say, this gets the job done. This simple curve really cleans up your lav mics and gets you getting much more professional results.
I do hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and most importantly, make sure you have yourself a great day.